Welcome to another exciting episode of The Energy That Surrounds Us. I'm your host, Michael, and I am joined today on this special night because we had originally scheduled earlier and life happened, so we had to reschedule. And so we are finally able to make this episode happen, and I'm so excited to be bringing not just one, but two onto the show. And the even more cool factor is they have just formed a new team. So we'll get to hear all about that and what went into that happening. So I am going to hand over to each of them to introduce themselves and give a little bit of their background. So I'm going to go ahead and say, Jen, take it away.
Oh gosh, I was hoping you wouldn't say me first. My name's Jen. Hello. Rachel and I started Sinister Sisters, oh my gosh, about a month ago now at this point. And I'm definitely newer to the whole, paranormal community, but, my entire life I've always been interested in anything spooky, ghostly, paranormal, witchy. Through meeting Rachel, we just had so much in common and we immediately clicked and became best friends and, just started this journey together, just kind of really naturally just grew into what it is. So, yeah.
And I have to say, in reading bios and like putting them together for you all in the descriptions, I loved Jen's when she writes, I was born in October, so naturally.
And I was born the day before Halloween, October 30th. So growing up, Halloween was always a really big deal in our household. We, made a big shebang of it every year. And I mean, it's just been something I've been in love with my entire life. So yeah of course.
So she really means it when she says, if it's spooky, count me in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We were talking about that backstage before we came on. And now we're going to hand it over to Rachel.
Yay.
Yay. I wish you would have gone first.
Well, I'm Rachel, and I'm here in Nashville now, but originally I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. Like Jen, I've been interested in pretty much all things paranormal, and I'm not just talking about like ghosts, but I love aliens and cryptids, and so I'm really fascinated by all of it. But I think like spirits took a forefront early on in my life, and I think that's why I have like an extra like curiosity towards it, because I had like experience when I was 10 years old and seeing my grandfather, and then I also had an experience at a childhood friend's house as a teenager, and so those really shaped like I think my interest in all things paranormal, because I had so many questions because of it, and I'm always looking to see if I can find the answers. So
right. And the unique thing about Rachel was her show was originally supposed to go right after her team at the time was on the show, and so it was like she was like, are you sure you want to have me on? Because I'm not the team. And I was like, you're a part. You have your own thing. And you being co-owner of a bar, that's pretty cool.
Up and coming, yeah. We're working on trying to make a brewery happen here in Nashville. So we've been at that since 2020, kind of home brewing and doing all the beer festivals we can get our name out there and try and make it happen.
Yeah. So you're the person to ask this then. What is the difference between home brewing and craft?
I mean, craft is home brewing. It just depends on the scale of it. So, yeah. So home brewing, you're actually physically doing all your brewing process at home. And, the other is at like a facility, and that's a commercial. So there's either home brewing or commercial brewing. So both make craft beer. I mean, if you're going to say like, Bud Light and, Coors, and that's not really craft beer. That's just traditional beer. But craft beer is always like, there's a twist on all those classic styles. So like I just posted to our page, like what my brother-in-law, so it's my husband and his brother, they do the brewing, and he brewed for upcoming festival here in Nashville in September. He brewed a atomic habanero pumpkin ale. So yeah, it's got like all the like spice of like a pumpkin pie, but it's gonna have some heat to it. So
that sounds interesting, actually.
Yeah, I had a sip of it before I came up, and I was like, "Whew," because I'm not like, for me, the less spice, the better. Like I'm just like, I can't take it. But
refreshing.
That raises
this is hot.
And that raises an interesting question, because when you eat hot food, like milk is what you use to calm the mouth down. So if you're drinking heat, you're not going to drink milk after beer because that won't mix well. So how do you get the heat out of your mouth?
You don't. No,
you don't. That's why I think like here in Nashville, because everybody's all about like spice, they want like, we did a beer last year that was it was a Mexican lager with jalapeno, except for we took out the heat away from it. So we had the flavor of the jalapeno, but it didn't have any heat behind it because my husband went in there and took out all the seeds and he ended up like burning his hands.
Yeah, you got to wear the gloves.
He did wear gloves, but it soaked through.
Ooh.
Really?
He was cutting so much. Yeah, it soaked through, and then he couldn't get like his hands were burning for hours. But there was zero heat to the beer. But then, so we had it, and people liked it, but they were like, we wanted the heat. We're in Nashville hot chicken. Like, we like the heat. And so we're like, okay, so this year we did the Mexican lager again with jalapeno, with the spice. And now we're going to do for the fall, the pumpkin with the habanero. So it'll be a little bit hotter.
I can't help but thinking just by the name of it, gone, a paranormal brew, the ghost pepper brew.
Yeah, like our brewery is named Dark Shadow. So a lot of our beers, like we have some ones that we consider like when we roll out to actually have a brewery, that we have some flagship beers, and we have been naming them like, kind of spooky names to them. And our logo definitely looks like it's kind of Jack the Ripper-esque. It's a shadow figure. You can't tell if the shadow's looking at you or if it's looking away from you. So it's kind of just standing there in this kind of like 18th century sort of top hat cape, and all you see is this dark shadow of something, and it's in the fog, and it's got like the street light during the 1800s. So
yeah, it's really cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah, we came up with it after visiting New Orleans and taking some of the ghost tours down there. That's how we ended up kind of coming up with the name and the logo and everything.
And I bet your guys' house is the party house.
It's definitely the spooky house. It's year-round spooky. But yeah, I mean, we give away free beer, so
You probably didn't want to say that live on the air.
I didn't give my address out, so
I'll just say it, if people figure this out and start lining up. That was
Well, that's
not
what we
my
want.
doing.
Did you say woohoo? Yep. That's what we want. We want people to know about us.
No, that's great. And that's the only way you're going to grow is actually by people liking it and spreading the word. And so that's actually
why we
really
do all
smart.
the festivals and stuff around the area that we can. So usually about sometimes 10 to 12 per year.
I was just saying, Nashville is like almost every week is a festival. So you're in like the perfect spot.
Yeah. During from like late spring to late fall is usually the go time for us. And it's also the go time for like paranormal investigations.
It is.
Because the weather's the best, because you're not going to want to investigate in the winter.
No.
Yeah. So, not to put you on the spot, Jen, but I'm going to you first for this because you being new, I feel like your perspective and answer on this will be more interesting.
Okay.
So, being the enthusiast you were growing up, what was the place that made you sit there and go, man, I wish I could do that and go to places like that?
You know, it's funny. I never even knew that was an option until I met Rachel. I always thought it was something that, like, if you wanted to be an investigator, like, you had to have your own TV show. Like, I didn't know it was something that you could do. You know what I mean? Like, as a hobby, on your own or in teams. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So
I'm laughing, Jen, because that's my exact story. I
like,
got pegged, and somebody goes, "Do you want to join our team?" And I'm like, "You mean this is real?"
Yeah, I had no clue. And then, at the time, Rachel was a part of a different group, and she invited me along for an investigation, and I was so excited. I mean, like, I just, I was like, of course. And then, it just kind of like segued into learning more about the community and how it really works, and that this is like a much, much bigger deal than what I ever in my mind would have thought it could be. So I thought you had to be, on Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters or something, you know what I mean, in order to do investigations. I had no clue. So,
well, you had a great inspirer.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was the coolest thing when she told me that she was part of a group. I was like, what? I know. I was like, that's so freaking cool. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And I just wanted so much to learn more about it and get involved. And, like I said, because I just thought, hey, I would only be able to experience it watching Zach Baggins. So,
So where was your first investigation at?
The Thomas house. Yeah, December. Yeah, the Thomas house in Red Boiling Springs. So,
Tennessee.
Yes. Yep. That was
I
really
like how
cool.
Rachel's sitting there going, "It's Tennessee. You gotta say Tennessee."
Yeah, Tennessee, Thomas house, Red Boiling Springs, Tennessee. Yes. And it was interesting. I didn't know what to expect. That was a chaotic night, though, because that's also the same day that, like, we had a bunch of tornadoes touch down, like where we live. I live in Springfield, Tennessee. And, it was just, I swear we drove through a tornado. There's no doubt in my mind. Like, we drove through a tornado, like, on our way to Red Boiling Springs. I know there's just no way we didn't. But we made it.
In one piece, thank you.
In one piece, yeah. And then we got there, and they had everybody on the lower level of the hotel because there was an active tornado warning going on. So,
and yet the rest of us were like, yes, it's going to bring out the activity.
Yeah, everybody was really excited about, the energy and everything that the storms were creating. And I had no idea what they were talking about. So
We're like, here, try these dowsing rods.
yeah. Yep.
See, Rachel, I love you brought that up because that is one of the funniest things about paranormal investigators is when somebody says, oh my God, there's this major weather event going on. Our answer is hook up the trailer, put the gear in, let's get going before it passes by. We're like, we run into it instead of away from it.
Right. Yep. That's kind of the exciting part of it, right? Because it just like kicks up the atmosphere, changes everything, and it brings some different energy. And so, yep, it ramps it up. Exactly. That's what we're looking for.
Yep.
So I don't have to ask, but I'm going to. Was there a lot of paranormal activity that night for you?
Kind of in between, right?
Yeah, kind of in between. I mean, I felt like we got a lot of activity with the dowsing rods. But after that, none that I'm like, oh my gosh, like this happened. That didn't happen until the Old Stone Jail investigation.
I was gonna say, if it hasn't happened, just hold on. It's coming.
It happened. But yeah, not that particular night. At that particular night. So, but like I said, it was still a really good experience, and it was a nice introduction into that. So,
well, and that was the perfect segue because my second part of my question to you was going to be is where has been your most memorable location since? And
yes,
now we found out it's the Stone place.
Yes, yeah, the Old Stone Jail and the museum in Franklin, Kentucky, right?
Yeah, the Historical Society.
The Historical Society, yeah. That was where I can truly say I had my first like legitimate paranormal experience. And I knew I wasn't losing my mind because there were other people that experienced what I experienced without me even having to say anything. And we're going back in September.
September.
Yeah, in September. Yeah, we're going back in September, and it'll be my second time going back there. And I'm really excited because I want to see, if I have any similar experiences or how I feel and react differently now, having a little bit more experience under my belt, kind of knowing what to expect and how to do things, as opposed to being there, the first time around. So,
right.
Yeah.
And the question I have for you next, and I'll probably ask it of you too, Rachel, is being the enthusiast, going on the investigation, and now being more experienced. What was your first thoughts of all the just what seemed like downtime that people don't understand that it's actually a part of investigating, like 3 hours in a room by yourself talking to the air?
I guess because I kind of maybe had a different expectation going into it. I know that like things that you see on TV are really made for TV. So I just really went in with an open mind and didn't set any type of expectation. And the downtime really didn't bother me because I still feel like it was it didn't seem like downtime. Like every time we go on an investigation, even if we don't get any activity for a couple of hours, I still feel like the night just flies by. Just between, just walking around the property, trying out different equipment, doing different things. I mean, I've never left disappointed. If we went on an investigation, there wasn't a lot of activity. I guess I never left disappointed because I didn't go in there with the expectation of, oh my gosh, I'm going to see a chair fly across the room. I mean, like I'm going to hear doors slamming shut all around me all night long. Like I just knew that wasn't how it really was. I mean, how could it be?
Right. So but just to clarify, when I meant downtime, I meant like when you're doing the EVP sessions and there's a lot of quiet time, just sitting there and going, am I getting a response? And then the next question,
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
No, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I mean, yeah, like
It was awkward for me at first because I was like,
yeah.
God, I'm so glad there's no camera on me right now because this so could get me locked up with the straight jacket because I'm just sitting here having conversation with the air.
I don't know. I think maybe downtime like that doesn't bother me because we interact with people all day long.
Oh yeah, you're like,
So
I enjoy this.
yeah, I'm good with quiet. Just we're good. Doesn't bother me not one bit. So yeah, it's actually I'm good. No opinion, I guess.
So, Rachel, do you feel like your experience as a kid is what kind of molded you into the investigator you are, or do you think that just opened the door and stuff that happened later really made you who you are today?
I would say it has to be both. I think that it definitely, my experiences as a kid definitely opened the door to really having that interest in like the paranormal. But I think, my experiences of actually investigating have that evolution has sort of made me the investigator I am today. Because I think I've had like just so many kind of like, even though if they were just small moments, there's been so many in even just the past year. And I think we've touched on it before, but I think it has to do a lot with the company that we choose to be with when we investigate. I think that we've had like amazing energy, and that has sort of like, I think, lent itself to bring out maybe more spiritual activity, that we've been able to like document. Maybe there was sort of a sort of progressive ramping up, and I think Jen and I have talked at length about this, that we really feel like it's definitely who we were with. There's been definite connection with those people, and that seems to like maybe bring the interest of the spirits, because they see it jive so well.
Yeah.
Right. And I have a curious question for you, Rachel, because you're a paranormal investigator who has kind of turned around and decided to put on the hat of mentor. So what made you decide, hey, maybe it's time to mentor another investigator and going, okay, Jen, you're it. I'm going to mentor you. Let's go.
I don't think it even happened like that. I don't even think I even thought that way. We were just like, Jen and I are coworkers during our Monday through Friday 9-to-5 jobs. And so I think that because of us having like that common interest in like all things like spooky and paranormal, it was just like a natural evolution of our conversations together. And it was just like, as she came on to investigations with us, and the different teams that we've been with, it was just like, it was such a natural evolution that we were like, just at lunchtime going like, we could do this. Let's do this. Like, and, and she was like, I'm all in, like,
all in. Sign me up.
Because I had a little bit of hesitation. I mean, you probably know this, Michael, is like, being a paranormal investigator is not cheap. And like the equipment is very expensive. And so for it to be, something that we love to do, investigate, is like, this is what we do for us, for our, like, it's our passion. It's like, our hobby. It's like our drive, what like gives us joy. But it's not a cheap hobby to have. And so, that was my concern about like starting a team. And, you know, Jenn was always just like, you know, I'm in it with you, and whatever you need, we'll figure it out. We'll share the expenses together. Like, it won't just be you, you know? So it was always like, you know, it's amazing that, you know, I had her. So.
Right. And one thing I think that's interesting in the dynamics is you guys just starting your team fairly recently. What can you kind of walk through what for you guys you were like, okay, you know, we're going to create this team. So what was going through your minds, and what all did you guys go through to say, okay, we can do this teamwork. We can do this as a team? Because I know there are so many people out there who are like, I want to investigate, but there's nobody here and I don't know how to form a team and all of that. So here you are just coming off of that. So any insights you can share?
Yeah.
You kind of hit the nail on the head with your statement. So, like me coming into the community, you know, not knowing where to begin, not knowing that there were teams, not knowing, you know, that there's this whole entire community. You know, Rachel and I, once again, you know, lunch conversations. How cool would it be to start a group, presenting the opportunity to people who are interested in this, giving them the option to join on investigations, you know, letting, you know, basically making this more well known to people who share an interest and a passion in this, that making it easier for people to be able to participate in investigations, and just like making it more well known, I guess. I don't know. What am I looking for, Rachel? Like, what am
Yeah,
I
just
trying to
kind of
say?
giving us accessibility to those
Yeah,
who just don't know where to
where to
begin. Like,
begin?
how do I start? How do I get involved? How do I join
Yeah,
a team? And like, if I want to, like, what is it like to investigate? Like, that's been like our goal and our mission in like creating Sinister Sisters, was that the whole thing was that we wanted to kind of give that education to people who are just quote normal, you know, like
yeah,
people who have an interest in the paranormal, but like have no idea like where
where to
to start.
begin? Yeah,
We want to give that opening to them, and
yeah,
like, and give them that ability to like say, this is what we do as investigators. This is how we investigate. This is the equipment we use. This is the terms we use. It's like mentoring them kind of for their next step in their journey.
yeah. And through that, you know, we formed our own group to be able to do that, to be able to provide that opportunity with open arms, you know, truly, you know, welcoming people in that want to learn and want to participate, and, you know, want to go forward with this hobby or this passion that they might have. Because I feel like me personally, like I said, I would have had no idea. I had no idea. And I'm going to be 42 this year, 42 years old. And I'm just now learning that there's a paranormal community out there, you
well,
know?
hey, you're starting earlier than I did.
Yeah, you're young starting.
But I'm saying it's something that I've had an interest in my entire life, you know, and just now to be able to really do something about that interest and that passion. You know, I don't want that to be a closed door to other people, you know, that would like to pursue, you know, doing something like this. I want it to be easily accessible for them, and, you know, give them the opportunity and the tools that they want and need to go forward. So,
And I have to say, in full transparency, we were talking about shows before we came on. And one thing I will say, kind of to piggyback on what you're saying, Jen, is the benefit of the shows. Most of the shows are not young people. Like Destination Fear, I mentioned them. Yeah, they're young, so they're going to be more active and able to do more of those kind of like 7 story buildings, with just a staircase, they'll be like, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of us that are, not in our 20s, we,
Double that.
we're like, we can go, well, look at Ghost Adventures or look at Ghost Hunters or Ghost Hunters International. They were all older people
Mm-hmm.
going and investigating. So it's not a young person's career. It's any age can do it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be rolling in there with my ankle brace on, but I'll be there,
Wow, this
Like
conversation
you
just
said,
a really weird turn.
Yeah. And I think I posted like to one of my to one of the social media. It says something about like I'll be my retirement plan is ghost hunting.
Ghost hunting.
Yep.
And I was like, I'll be in my wheelchair, and
Absolutely. We'll hook up some NOS to that thing, and we'll send you on your way.
And I said, wouldn't we be like the coolest like senior citizens?
Yep.
Yeah, I can just see it now. Going to be on your epitaph on your stone is, you better not be ignoring me on this side anymore.
Nope.
But so that's kind of how the group formed. I mean, it just, once again, just kind of naturally grew into what it is. So.
And Rachel, this question is kind of guided towards you because you have the history with the other teams. And I'm curious, with starting a new team, when you go to locations and you're like, hey, can we investigate here? And I know a lot of people are nervous about having teams coming in. Do you ever go, well, I was a part of this team who came here, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll green light you, and you get access to locations?
Yeah, I mean, I think the places where we have upcoming investigations are definitely locations because of the connections that I formed being a part of the other group. I got to know like the owners of the buildings, and so it was easy to reach out to them and say, hey, look, I started my own team and we want to do an investigation. What can we do to make that happen? And like everyone that I've approached has been like, wonderful, like come aboard. We'll be happy to have you. So, I think that, and I don't know if that's like that for other states and other locations. But I haven't had like experienced any difficulty so far here in Tennessee. So
yeah, everybody's been super, super nice, super welcoming.
Yeah, super welcoming
excited to have us.
Here.
I mean, it's been really good experiences everywhere we've gone so far.
Yeah, the locations are great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because, and Jen, you got a bonus because a lot of people don't have somebody that can get you access to a lot of these locations up front.
Yeah, this would not be possible without Rachel. Absolutely. And I know that. Very
and I know Rachel's sitting there saying it's not just me. You're helping too. So I know that's there.
I couldn't do this without her.
No.
Wouldn't want to either.
Me neither.
So I know we've kind of hit on, so what is the overall goal and how many team members do you want to have on Sinister Sisters?
I think right now, I mean, since we're new, I think we intend to keep it small, and also, just knowing that as a team grows, there can be more personality conflicts amongst team members. And I think, Jen and I work really well together that, right now we're not looking to like expand or grow in any way. That could evolve as things go down the road. So we're obviously keeping a very open mind about that. But if the right person comes along, and of course, we're like, yeah, the chemistry is there and we fit really well, then, that might happen. But right now we're just, focusing on us and just trying to get this, ball rolling.
Yeah.
Right. And I know inevitably someone's going to ask this because you guys are named Sinister Sisters. And some guys may be like, I would love to join them and go. Is that going to ever be an option? Or
yeah, we wouldn't discourage that at all.
Nope.
Okay,
I guess maybe we have to be the sisters.
I ask because I know there are some teams that are like, yeah, we want to be all female or all male, and so
no.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
We're keeping an open mind. It has to be the right person, the right fit, and we're not going to say that it has to be a certain gender to be a part. It just has to be the right energy and chemistry with us, to fit on the team. So
right. So what locations are you guys sitting there saying, man, I totally want to go there?
Oh my God.
There's so many. I've
got a bucket list.
Yeah, we started a bucket list. So
I've got like the big locations that I would of course go to, like it's gonna happen early 2025. Is gonna be Waverly Hills. Yep. I want to go Trans-Allegheny. Of course, I want to go because I'm like such a New Orleans fan. I'd love to do some investigating down there. I've been talking with another team who just like, you come down, we'll bring you in and get into some locations. But it's not New Orleans, but it's relatively close. Is Myrtle's Plantation.
Been there.
I would love to go there. I want to go back to Savannah and Salem and Charleston. So many locations I've been to, done like the ghost tours, but I actually want to get inside some of those buildings and investigate. So
very cool. And so Jen, I gotta ask, has there ever been a location that you were like, hey Rachel, check this place out, what do you think of this? And Rachel's like, I've been there.
Not well, you know what? Because I really don't know what locations are really available to be investigated. Like, I'm still learning what the possibility is and what's not. So, Rachel will kind of bring up places that she'd like to go, and I'll look into it. And I'll be like, heck yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do it. But definitely Waverly. Waverly was one that I would love to go to. I didn't even know that was a possibility until Rachel told me. Like I said, I just thought that those were got to be, on a TV show to do it. So
I'm
still learning. I'm learning a lot, but I mean, Rachel knows I am the easiest person to please. I'm along the ride for anything and everything. Anywhere she wants to go, I'll be there. No qualms. So
I'm just gonna say this one time: don't go the route of an Aaron.
Don't go the what?
Route of an Aaron.
An Aaron.
Aaron from like
Ghost
don't
Adventures. Don't be the bait.
Like send her in a solo investigation by herself.
Oh no!
Don't let people stir the pot
down
and
in
go,
the hole.
Jen, go sit in there for
Oh
2 hours.
Heck no!
I would never do that to someone.
No, and that's actually one of our rules. Like, nobody's allowed to go anywhere on their own. Like, nope, not happening. Not happening.
That's a safety issue. Like, I feel like
no.
It is, and I kind of have to put my head down because I've been known to disappear.
Oh, no. Nope.
I'm honest about it, but I don't disappear for long. Probably nobody even realizes I'm missing half the time.
Like I said, I wouldn't put her down in the hole or anything like a brushy.
Mm-mm. Not happening.
Body shoot at Waverly.
Talking about Waverly, if memory serves right, Waverly is the like multi-huge megaplex building. So I'm almost curious, if you go there, are you going to take other teams with you, or are you guys like, nope, we want the whole building to ourselves?
Oh, heck no. We plan to go with several people. I think at overnight investigation, my understanding, Waverly, you can have up to 10 people that investigation. So we'll probably lean on having somewhere close to that.
Yeah.
Waverly is one of those places that I'm like, I could actually consider going 50 people could be capacity there because
it's so huge.
It's so big.
Right.
Massive.
And you get zero contamination probably.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. Because you could have like people down you could have a team in the body chute. You can have a team like up on the top floor. You can have a team like
in the middle.
Yep.
On the left side versus the right side.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you still wouldn't, I forget how long it is, but it's insane how big it is. Like, yeah.
It's like, it looks bigger than the largest hotel probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's tunnels under it.
Yeah. That's that body chute. I think the tunnel leads to the body chute. That's yeah. Because they didn't want people seeing how many people were dying. Yeah. How many people were dying of tuberculosis all the time. So they tried to keep their spirits lifted.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended. I was like, see what I did there.
You're in the darkest place, and we're going to lift your spirits by using the basement. We'll just, ignore the fact that your friend left
here all night.
Didn't come back. I'm curious between the two of you, though, as well as, is there a location like you've seen on TV and are like, nope, no way I'm stepping foot at that place?
There's one place, and I'm not like completely nixing off the list. I'll just say that there's some hesitation about it. Is probably Bobby Mackey's.
Oh yeah.
Here
in Nashville.
Well, I think it's Bobby Mackey's. No.
Is it Nashville?
It's not in Nashville.
No, it's Nashville. No? Where's it at? I've heard of it.
Gosh, if I try to remember, I can look it up real quick.
Because I thought that they closed it down for a little while.
They did. They did, but I think it's reopened.
Okay.
It is. What does that say? Wow.
Watch, we're about to get schooled by the newbie.
Oh no. I know it's oh wow. Google Maps. Oh yeah, it's all the way up in Cincinnati, near Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh gosh, okay.
Yeah.
I was way off. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's been, pretty like negative presence that's been well known in that building, well documented, but like I said, it's not off the radar. It would just be there's a hesitation. So
yeah,
I would have to really like think about it. If I'm willing to subject myself to
and if it's like
possibility
that, I wouldn't feel comfortable going until I get a lot more experience under my belt.
Right.
So
yeah,
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant place. We'll just, that's what's known. Now, is that just what's known, or is that the truth? I can't say.
Right. That's the problem, is some places will hype up and you're like, Oh, well, glad I came, but didn't have that experience, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you never know, like, been with like investigating with different teams of people, that sometimes that like you can investigate the same place and the energy is completely different. What'd that say? I couldn't.
Oh, he can't get anyone to here in Northeast Florida to do field research. Like no one's researching the woo factor.
Huh.
I'm Northeast. I know of a few hot spots over there, so you should easily be able to get someone in Northeast Florida because that's like St. Augustine's considered, I believe, in the
Oh,
Northeast.
that is it?
Central to Northeast, yeah, with Cape Canaveral and all of that.
Yeah, I know that that's another bucket list place, obviously, because of the lighthouse there.
Yeah, I didn't do the lighthouse, but I did the fort. And I will say I shocked my friend and a lot of people that watched the footage because they fired the cannon, right? And so in the camera footage, it's hilarious because I'm watching and you can see everybody moving on the top and getting ready to fire. And all of a sudden they fire and you see people jumping on the screen and they're like, "You didn't move." I'm like, "No, I didn't move." And they're like, "How did you not move?" I'm like, "I don't know. I guess I was so focused on the camera that the sound and what just happened just went over my head." But I was like, yeah, I had a
Fixated. I'm
friend
watching the
fire a
cannon fire.
blunderbuss and never jumped. It's like, man, they're like, "You got nerves. You're good at the camera." I'm like, okay. But being around Nashville, I'm curious, have you guys ever investigated the Parthenon building?
No, and I don't think that is someplace that would be open for investigations. Yeah,
right, because they have the museum.
Yeah, they put that thing. It's on lockdown when it's not open for visiting the museum and doing the whole tour and everything.
I'm just wondering if that's ever on anyone's list because being the Parthenon, I would imagine that being replicated and energy would be coming for that. But have anyone ever really thought of, hey, there's a spot we could go investigate?
Yeah, well, even just the history of the land that the Parthenon's built on. I mean, that's where like the old world trades fairs and everything used to happen, and gosh, who knows?
Get some like residual stuff.
Yeah, yep. So, but yeah, I've never heard of that as even being an option. It would be cool, if you're able to get in and do it, but not that I've heard
It'd be
of.
interesting if we went like and talked to people during like the museum that actually worked there and see if they've had any experiences.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, is there any possibility we could get in there?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I wonder, I'm curious, is Nashville open to that? To like the paranormal stuff that's going on? Or are they like, nope, we don't want to talk about that. We're putting that under the rug.
No, well, I mean, I think if you're wanting to investigate churches, then they might be like,
yeah, nope, no, not happening,
not happening. But like, there's a lot of locations within Nashville and kind of the surrounding areas that are within close to Nashville that do let you go in and investigate. Down in Franklin, Tennessee, which is not too far from Nashville, really, like about a half hour outside of down south of Nashville. They have the Lotes House, which is pretty well known in the area to be haunted. It definitely, it was in the middle of a Civil War battle that had the
Right.
Battle of Franklin that happened there. So I've been at that house, and I just did their ghost tour, but of the house and everything. But there was definitely some energy and some spots that felt weird, and I was like, okay, I need to get back here, investigate.
Yeah.
We know somebody who knows somebody that works there, so hey, we might have to hit up a friend, phone a friend.
We laugh, but the paranormal is a community of, it all depends on who you know.
No. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
So you haven't investigated Franklin at all?
I haven't been down to investigate Franklin. No, I've been there just like on a tour, but not a investigation. So
I would imagine the activity there would be off the chart, because if memory serves me right from my history degree, Franklin is where they tunneled and detonated underneath them, so they didn't even know it was coming.
Yeah, the case.
That would be interesting to talk to somebody and being like, yeah, I was chatting with my friend, and next thing I know, I'm no longer talking to my friend.
Right.
And, don't know what happened.
Yeah, this is true. It's I mean, that period of time was pretty bloody and destructive. Yeah. I know right across the street from like what currently sits the Lowe's house, across the street from it is a humongous like empty field, and that's literally where the battle took place there. So it's like, and we know that at the house the family that was living there was kind of hiding out from, they just didn't want to be involved. So but their house was right in the middle, and you have no choice.
Yeah, that's the thing people don't think about is, with the war is, when the battle comes to your front yard, you don't have a choice anymore. And that's why, we say, oh, how brave this person was that they stayed in their house during the battle and unfortunately was shot by a stray bullet. It's like, I don't think they were brave. I think there was no time to get out. Is, the second one army appears on your doorstep, the other one is right behind.
Yeah. And they tried hiding. I know that sort of the tour talked about like the family tried to hide in the basement, and they were found pretty quickly. But
the beginning of the war, that would be really interesting. The sites that are in the beginning of the war to investigate, because you had the civilians riding up in carriages with picnics and going, oh, we're going to do the social event of the day is we're going to the battle. And it's like, really? That was the social event of the day? You guys purposely put yourselves in harm's way just to say I was of society?
Yeah.
It was such a weird time back then.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, right?
No.
Yeah. Today we're like, oh, there's a battle going on over there. I'll be like 200 yards at least over this way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Nowhere to be found. I would be gone.
Yeah.
I'm out.
So I'm going to kind of pivot the show a little bit here, because Rachel, you brought up something that I think, and I'm not sure you probably ever talked about on an interview.
What's that?
So, being on investigations or around, have you ever encountered the UFO and seen them?
Not on an investigation. Well, maybe the closest thing, and it really wasn't like a UFO. but there was some unknown like lights that showed up in the picture of when I was up at Octagon Hall. That property is another one that's in Franklin, Tennessee, and they were in the midst of the Civil War. But not only that, there's been so much on the land. There's been lights seen in the sky. There's been cryptids seen on the property. There's been apparitions seen in the house. So they pretty much talk about that there's a portal on the property, and basically probably every well-known team that's on television has been and investigated there. But I was taking pictures of the field that supposedly a portal exists, and I got some interesting, weird sort of just light anomaly that was out in that field in several different pictures, and it looks different than anything I think I've ever seen. But in my house, when we were just like out in the backyard, and I've got footage of it where there was some weird light in the sky, and when I zoomed in on it, it's strange. It looks like an orb, almost like how you would think like a ghost orb of light would look like, but it's up like hundreds if not thousands of feet up in the sky, and it's just trippy. It moved really fast, faster than I've seen anything move. And my husband and my brother-in-law and we all saw it, and we have it on multiple cameras. So it was definitely weird. I would say it was definitely unidentified. Didn't have any means of like propulsion to it. There was no, you couldn't see like wings on it. It just looked like a ball of light in the sky moving really fast.
And I've read of claims where that's one of the crafts that is seen where people are like, yeah, it doesn't have the characteristics and it's quiet. So
yeah, we heard nothing. We didn't hear, because we have planes that fly all the time. We're not that far from the Nashville airport, so the main BNA is like it's not far at all. It's about about 15-20 minutes for us to drive there. So we get planes out all the time, and they're loud, and they will, you can definitely tell it's a plane, and it's usually if it's coming in or leaving BNA, it's low, and you're going to see it, and you're going to see the wings, you're going to see everything that is a plane. So this was definitely odd.
So Jen, are you into the whole ufology, portal, all of that too, or are you still undecided?
No. I think that the universe, everything's too big for it just to be us. I definitely think that there's other things out there that we just don't know yet. How could there not be? Yeah. So
that's like one of my favorite lines from the movie Contact is, if we are alone in the universe, that's an awful lot of wasted space out there.
That's true.
It's so true. If it's like infinite, come on.
Yeah.
But so I'm kind of curious too, is talking about the cryptids, and I know we're at an hour, so do you guys have time to talk a little bit more, or do you gotta get going?
No, I got time. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm good too.
We're good.
That's Rachel checks are watching.
I'm just double checking. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
Now, cryptids is not something I'm too familiar with.
Is like Bigfoot.
Like Mothman and stuff like that. Okay, exactly. Okay, Bigfoot, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bigfoot, Mothman, the Rake.
Okay.
Slender
There's
Man.
a lot of them.
There's a lot of them, and I know too many, so that just gives away my nerdy.
So that's why I'm directing this question more to you, Rachel, is with the cryptids, which one is the one you would most like to meet and the one that you truly hope you never meet?
Oh my gosh. That's a tough one. I mean, I'm originally from Northern California, so I'd love to see a Sasquatch. A Bigfoot, a Sasquatch. Yeah, I would love to see one of those. I hope I never meet, like, maybe the Rake is like one of those scarier.
Yeah, you showed me pictures of that. He
Yeah.
was creepy. Yeah. That's
Wow,
a little
I was
scary.
totally expecting Dogman to come from you, Rachel.
Why? Because of
Well,
doggies?
because the stories are always like, you know, I've heard like if you encounter the Dogman, your days are numbered. That
Oh,
he,
well, I don't want to see that then.
and they're like, you know, and that the Dogman will attack humans.
Hmm.
It's like one of the
Yeah, no.
rare cryptids that I've read that are like, yeah, if you encounter this, no, it's good
I don't
luck.
know that much about Dogman, so.
Yeah, I've never heard of Dogman.
Yeah, I did a video trying to figure out how to either avoid or come in contact with Dogman. And all the evidence that I was reviewing, because there's actually websites where people turn in their evidence and it's logged and it's everything based on where you are in the world. And I was like, yeah, not only is this creature everywhere, but he comes out in the summer, he comes out in the winter, he comes out in the daytime, nighttime. I was like, there is zero way to predict a Dogman.
I'll have to do a little bit of research on that. I've never heard of that before. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, I was doing an interview on a friend's show in the UK, and somebody goes, "Oh, this legend is, you know, this cryptid's in your backyard. You know, have you experienced one?" And I'm like, "What cryptid?" And they go, "Dogman." I was like, "The heck is a Dogman?" I was like, "I gotta go do some research."
Is it like Wolfman?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a dog that's on two legs and
Walks
actually
like a
will
humanoid.
chase cars, and he's like, there's like no fear of human contact with this creature. And he will chase you if you get into his territory.
Wow.
Okay.
Now,
Crazy.
like we were saying earlier, Rachel and I were saying, these are the claims. We don't know this for a fact, so don't quote us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I would not recommend going up to a dog man to pet him and be like, good boy.
If you want to still have an arm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be looking for like Catwoman or something.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we have
That's ours.
Mothman.
Yeah.
Why not a
Mothman,
Catwoman out
prophecies.
there?
Yeah. Yep.
So, like, what cryptid was it that you heard about that you were like, ooh, I want to study more about these?
I think like I find that Skinwalker is pretty fascinating, I think, because of the Native American legends of the Skinwalker. And I think that, you know, supposedly it was like one tribe, you know, conjured it up to, you know, get rid of another tribe.
Right.
But, you know, there's the whole Skinwalker Ranch and everything that's seen there. I wholeheartedly believe that's a portal. And perhaps like maybe the Skinwalker is something like Predator and comes out of a portal.
Yeah.
That's my own theory.
No, you know, I have the similar theory when it comes to like Bigfoot, because
I think he's interdimensional creature.
Exactly, because all the photos are blurry, and why would they be blurry? Is because he's from one portal to another portal. He's phased out a little bit, so that's why it's blurry, in my opinion.
Right. Do you ever watch that show, Expedition Bigfoot?
I haven't seen that one yet.
You should check it out. They're about to come back. I think their new season started last night, but they travel to, like, I guess they rely on a computer. They'll plug in like where people have had sightings, and then they'll go to a hot spot and they'll investigate for like the whole season. They'll spend in that one spot trying to see what they can get. And I know that they caught, like, there was a shadow of like behind them that looked like a man, like it was the shadow of a man walking behind them, but it like was walking and then it just disappeared. Like the shadow just disappeared. And it was like, but it wasn't like a normal man. Like like the shadow was like ape-like, like a very tall walking ape.
Oh, I'm definitely checking this out.
Yeah, you got to check it out. It's really cool.
Cool.
They've gotten some amazing stuff. And now I think this season they're supposed to be in Northern California. So I'm like, yes, I've got to watch this.
Yeah, I hesitate on watching some of the Bigfoot shows because a lot of them are like, yeah, so this is where it was claimed to have happened, and so that they're just sitting in the woods, and it's like, this is an hour of my life I'm not going to get back, because why am I sitting here watching you just sitting in the woods and doing the occasional famous ghost TV show thing of, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, some of it, I mean, they have like Dr. Maria Mayor, I think is her name. She is one of the top primatologists. Yeah.
Yeah, we got everyone coming in the woodworks now.
It's that time, huh?
No,
I heard you were talking about Bigfoot. They had to get in on it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Comes running when you mention the Bigfoot.
I know. I'm like, Jen, we got to do like let's go on a Sasquatch hunt. There's fun. I want to do that, and I want to get with MUFON and do a UFO investigation.
Hey, that'd be like I said.
Yeah,
I'm down. Let's go.
I know a couple of places if you want to really get some cool UFO stuff. I haven't been myself, but I know I've been watching videos from there, and like, man, it is like super active over there. And so it's like, I've been invited, but I just haven't had the time to be like, okay, yes, I'm coming up for the weekend. Let's do this.
I know that's our challenge because, you know, we work at the same place. So our boss is not going to be like, yeah, you both can go. He'll be like, no.
Take the week. It's okay. We got this.
We'll have nobody.
I'll be like, I can see Rachel going, Jen, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to take Friday off. I'll meet you there Saturday. You come Saturday. We'll come back Sunday. Nobody will ever know we were missing.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that.
Like, the bosses can't say anything.
The doctor's like, what the hell?
I know. Oh, man. I think World War III would break out in the office.
Yeah, we'd come back and the building be on fire.
Yeah. Yep. We see the smoke signals. We're pulling in.
We're a couple of those who kind of like are the glue that helps keep the place together.
Yeah.
And yes,
well,
pat myself on the back. There you go, Jen. Made it through a day. So
oh, man.
Yeah. You got to keep.
See, that's why we'd rather talk to ghosts than actual live humans. There's less drama.
Yes.
I'm totally picturing you both being in the office, and when you get the one patient who just doesn't want to stop sharing a story or something, and you're like, look at each other and go, so you're wanting to go check out that zombie house this weekend, right? And watch the person be like, I'm out.
Hey, that's what we should do next time.
I know, give it
Jen.
a try, see how it goes.
You
Because
know,
Or be
down
like,
in the
we're going
South,
to that murder house, right?
yeah, we're going to that demon house, right? See how quickly.
oh man,
No, but
We
yeah,
have fun.
so oh, definitely, you gotta have fun.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I think that is one of the things that I've talked about with multiple people is like, yes, we are, we get passionate and we get like, really into ghost hunting and using our equipment and trying to get that evidence, but we also, are about just like having fun while we do it.
yeah, it's always a good
Yeah.
time. It is.
And that's how we're like, when we are brushing, it was like, whoa, like 7 hours went by like
Flew
that.
by.
We're like, we didn't even get to investigate like
Yeah.
as many of the spots as we wanted to because
Same thing with when we were in Lynchburg. That just flew by.
Yeah.
Flew by.
Yeah.
And again, because I think we just had such a good group that we were with and it made it like what it was.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm curious between the two of yous, there seems to be a lot of theories going around about the active time where everything seems to be more active, and once you pass that point, it's like you can pretty much go. Spirits are done. What's your opinion on? Yeah. So I'm curious your opinion on that and when you think that is, like your theory of from your experiences, what is the really active time to you're done, they're pretty much done.
I don't
I think it's on the like you said, the location. I think it's location specific more than it is like strictly to between this time and this time. Because we know like when we were down in Lynchburg, the jail, they're like, oh yeah, everything shuts down. It seems like it's quiet between, nothing past like midnight or something, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like early there, but then we went across the street to the funeral home and it was like, hey, it was still active. It was like very active.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that kind of like tests that theory. I think it's more location than it is time.
Yeah, I kind of noticed. I think for me, between like 12 and 2 or 3, that's when things are like, hey, you're up, I'm up, let's chat. Or walking around, and after that, they're like, I've done my bid. I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
Isn't that like 12 to 3 a.m. is somewhere like the witching hour?
Yeah, there is talks of that too, yeah. And there's also talks of that's the time when the veil is really thin too.
Well, we're starting to approach that time where the season where the veil starts to thin.
Thinning, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Halloween.
Yes.
All Hallows. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And I was noticing this, how funny it is that we have All Hallows Eve, which became Halloween, and then the next day is All Saints Day, and then the day after that is the Day of the Dead.
Yep.
And so it's like, we pretty much have established this is the season of spooky.
Yep.
And death.
Yep. It's kind of like, it's definitely where everything becomes like we're after because we're going towards the dark instead of the light. So
So real quick, I'm kind of curious, Rachel, do you consider using your abilities as gifts, and was that something you always had, or did you like learn with teams how to do that?
Yeah, I think that I think as I've been investigating, I feel like I'm becoming more in tune with it than I was before. You know, and I don't know if that's because it's like, okay, now I'm really practicing much more in using like the gift, because I'm trying to like communicate more with spirits. So yeah, definitely I think I notice it more. I don't think I realized when I was young that that's really what was happening, right? I just was like, okay, I had this strange experience, but I think as I've been an adult, that's been where I've learned much more. And I mean, I think that just goes what I feel like as I've gotten older, that just comes with age. Like I know myself better than I ever have. You know, I like honestly can say my 40s have been like the best years because I feel like I'm more myself and I'm more confident, and so I think like that's as I've gone. Like when I went in my 20s, they were like, "Oh yeah, your 30s will be great. It'll be the best years," and then your 30s, they're like, "Your 40s will be wonderful." So now I'm looking forward to the 50s.
Yeah, don't they say like
real quick.
40s is the new 20s? So it's like we're starting over.
Yep. Yeah, we've talked about like, I know my husband and I have talked about like looking at pictures from even when my parents were our ages, and it seemed like they look like much older than we do at their same age. I don't know if that's true or not, but you know.
Hey, take it.
Yeah,
I know. That's what I'm not. Hey, I'm happy to say. I'm happy to say.
Yeah, people are always surprised when we tell them how old we are and how old our kids are, and they're just like, "No way."
I know. They're like, "What?"
Yeah, they're floored. So I'll take it. I'll take it day in and day out.
Exactly.
So, Jen, I'm curious, you know, as you're seeing all of this in the paranormal and getting more familiar with everything, is there a gift or ability that you've seen and you're like, oh, I totally wish I could do that?
Oh,
you wish it could be like Justin.
I don't know.
Or you're like, no.
Yeah, I think that would be. I think I'm too emotional to do that. Not that I've seen yet. Not gonna say never. But I think, you know, it takes a lot of, you know, you've really got to be able to hone in, you know, your emotions, you know, when you're investigating and trying to connect. And, you know, I think it would be cool, you know, to be able to communicate the way like, you know, Justin does, and you know, or maybe be a sensitive and kind of have a sense of what happened, you know, in the area, you know, be able to feel, you know, feel things. But I think that if that were to happen to me right now, I'd probably be scared out of my mind. You know,
I was going to ask because I feel like I'm missing out a huge thing of this conversation is, who is Justin? What does he do?
Oh, we love Justin. He's one of my favorite people in the world. Justin is very, very gifted.
He's another paranormal investigator.
He's another investigator, yes. And he just has this ability to connect with spirits and energies, and you know, even
he's been able to do that, I think, since he was real young. He was saying.
Yeah. And just watching him, because you know, we've gone on a couple of investigations with them, and just watching him in action, it just blows my mind. it just absolutely blows my mind. And to be able to do that, I don't know if that's something I would ever want to be able to do. I don't know if I could truly handle it personally, you know.
Yeah, I remember when we were at Old Stone Jail, and Justin was like, brought me over to one of the cells, and he was like, what do you see in here? And I was like, there's a shadow like crouched down in the bottom of the cell. And we're like, hey, Jen, come look at this. You're like, nope. I'm good.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it. I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good right here.
The funny reason why I asked that, Jen, is there's been this growing feeling in the community, and I don't know if it's the same where you guys are, is everybody has abilities.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being tuned in and using. So that's why I was like curious with you being brand new to it, if you were like, oh, being able to see would be so cool, or hear, it'd be really great, and being like, okay, yeah, because I mean, I'm sure if you picked one, I'm sure you have many, and I'm sure Rachel has many, but you really utilize the one that draws to you. And Rachel probably could help you out if you were like, yeah, I want to, if you wanted to be like Justin or be, whichever way you wanted to go, I'm sure Rachel would be like, yeah, this is how you do it, and kind of help you in the investigations to
if and when that time ever comes, and I feel like I want to learn more about becoming in tune with myself, and I guess my sensitivities. I know I've got Rachel's got my back. I know she'll do whatever she needs to help me feel supported and grow and learn, and even other people that I've interacted with the community, I mean, they've kind of welcomed me with open arms and teaching me and showing me the ropes. And, I know if that were something I would ever want to pursue, and that'll probably come with time, like there's still a lot to learn. I'm still figuring things out. Yeah.
You don't need to rush it.
I was spend a lifetime figuring it out.
Yeah. I think that I just kind of want to let that happen naturally and see where, my strengths might be, in that particular area myself, after getting more comfortable, in this role and doing these things. So,
and this is a fun fact for paranormal investigators. It does get super weird and creepy when you first start. That's totally normal.
Yeah. I've already had a couple of creepy experiences. So
it's like, don't be like sitting there going, oh, I don't want the gifts because it's going to be creepy. I'm like, oh no, it's going to be creepy at first.
Yeah.
There's the learning curve.
Absolutely.
We've all done it.
Yeah.
I think you're already on the first steps of doing it by just having that open mind.
Yeah.
And wanting to like have those experiences. Because remember, like, when you had like that the glass having one, it was like, oh my god, it's like really happening. But then you were like,
almost in denial.
Then you were like, I'm hooked.
That's why I didn't say anything. I just sat there. I was like, no,
frozen.
But
yeah. All right. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure having you both on.
Thank you.
So it's been fun. Great. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, and I'm so grateful you were able to come on, Jen.
Oh yeah, thank you. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah. Some people are a little nervous right out the chute, going out and being like on a show going, yes, I do this now. So I'm glad you are out and putting yourself out there like that.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, got my support, my support system. So we're good. I'm good. But thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for having me as well. It's been so fun.
It has.
Finally getting the opportunity to talk to you, because I know it's been a long time coming.
It has. And I even remember at first, like we said in the beginning, you were like, why do you want me on your show? I'm not anything. And I was like, trust me. There's reasons.
Trust the process. Yeah.
But yeah, so where can people find Sinister Sisters Paranormal Investigations?
Yep. You can find us. We're on Instagram, Facebook, under Sinister Sisters Paranormal, both. And then we have our website that is the same, sinistersistersparanormal.com. They can find us, and we've got some upcoming investigations, like if they're around the Nashville area and want to join, we've got, tickets out there. We'll be at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital on August 31st, and then Old Stone Jail in Franklin, Kentucky on September 28th. Mm-hmm. And then we're working on a Day of the Dead event as well. So,
ooh, that sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. And I gotta say to everyone watching, go check out their stuff because it's really cool. And Rachel comes from a really cool background, so definitely the two of you, I feel like, are going to be going places.
Oh, we appreciate that. Thank you.
So glad I can say I was one of the first to promote this team.
Yes, you were.
We appreciate your support. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we so do.
You're
and
welcome.
We'll have to come back and share some evidence.
Yes, definitely. I would love to have you guys back on.
Okay, we love that.
So now comes the fun part of the show where I make everyone just have to think just a little bit. So between the two of you, you can both answer, or if one of you wants to answer, that's fine. From your experiences in life, what is a golden nugget you would like to leave the audience with?
Oh, man. That is a tough one.
I feel like this is the moment I need to get the Jeopardy music going.
I know. That would be difficult.
Doesn't have to be deep or very introspective. Just
be kind. You never know what somebody's going through, and your random act of kindness, could potentially have the ability to change somebody's life. Just be kind.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. I think
Rachel.
Don't know if I can.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, man, coming from I don't know to laying that one out. It's like the bar went from really low to
okay, I can keep it simple. Yeah. No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. It doesn't take much, but it can really impact somebody greatly because you don't know. You can't walk in somebody else's shoes. So,
and if you can, be very careful.
Yeah. Shoes might be too tight, or they might be too big.
Or you might be stepping in a puddle that you don't want to step into.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you again, and thank you to the audience, and thank you to everyone in the chat room. So wherever you are in the world, make it a great one, whether it's good morning for you or afternoon, evening, or if you're asleep, don't worry about it. You can always catch the replay. But wherever you are in the world, make it a blessed, loving day and share the love, and like Jen and Rachel said, be kind. Spread a little kindness in the world. We could totally use that. And with that, I am going to say, well, I was going to say au revoir, but then I was like, yeah, I don't want to start people thinking I speak French and read all kinds of French comments and be like, I have no idea what you're saying. So with that, I'm going to say good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.